Motion to open presentation.
Granted.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And today, before we start the presentation, we would like to introduce ourselves first. My name is Muhammad Fauzi bin Abdullah.
My name is Raja Alias Afra binti Rajmali.
Hey, my name is Muhammad Khalif Haizam bin Muhammad Zamri.
Oh my god! KFC ran out of chicken!
Really?
What is happening, guys? Should we watch a video?
Yes.
Should we watch a video, guys?
KFC has run out of chicken in Britain, forcing the chain to close hundreds of restaurants there. Now, some people took the news better than others. So how does KFC run out of chicken? Well, it turns out the chain switched delivery companies to DHL, and things didn't go so well when it came to getting fresh chicken to 900 restaurants. DHL blames operational issues. The word on when the stores will be back to what they call, of course, their finger-looking good stuff.
From this video, we can see that KFC used to face a real big problem back in 2018 in the UK. So now let's dig deeper on what happened to the project. So I will pass the next part to Khalif.
Okay, so let's first take a look on the planning. What actually went wrong with KFC in the UK? So, the first thing that happened is KFC has made their major logistic provider changes by switch from Bidwest to a food logistics specialist to DHL, which is DHL only has one depot or warehouse, whereby the before provider has 6 depots. And it creates a fragile and centralized supply chain which can lead to a lot of problems. And next is a single point of failure when DHL Rugby Depot faced a congestion and a road accident. In the blocked access, delivery stopped completely to KFC food chain in the entire UK. And next, we can see that KFC also ignored expert warning by the trade unions and supply chain analysts, because they're referencing that before this we have this kind of problem with Burger King, but these are overlooked by the KFC. Also, they also have a spoil and congestion because of the operational delay. The chicken tend to spoil before reaching the restaurant, making KFC can't sell them to the customers. And after that, also cost over reliability. The switch the KFC prioritize cost saving, but they undermine the reliability and the customer trust. And lastly, there are no contingency plan. There are no backup supplier or backup plan, or even a backup emergency stock, making over 750 stores of KFC closed all across UK. And next, please. Okay, so what can we learn from this program on planning? We can learn that by ignoring risk of planning and stakeholder input can affect both operation and ethics. Next, businesses must balance cost efficiency with reliability as expertise in logistics, because logistics is one of the most important part of the business, because it transfers your product to point A and point B. Therefore, company must focus to enhance, to enforce this part in order to allow any disruption of their operations. And lastly, companies need to planning not just for resilience, but for efficiency by preparing for any disruption that may come to them. So, what could have KFC improve in their planning? First, they can distribute warehousing instead of relying on one depot by making creating a lot of depot with stock, and also they can face a rollout with pilot region before nationwide implementation. By this, KFC need to test out their logistics first in Manchester first before they can implement them on the entire region. After that, they also can enable a dual supplier model by retaining Midwest as their previous supplier and backup during the DHL transition, not by just transition to one company only. So they need to retain the older supplier as a backup. And lastly, they need to foresee a contingency planning with backup suppliers, alternative routes for their logistics, and stock buffer, which means that they need to have an so-called that emergency stock if there anything happen. So that's all for me on the planning part. I will pass to the next part. Thank you.
Okay, respected lecturers and fellow classmates. Let me begin with this hashtag KFC Chicken Crisis. What went wrong in the project scheduling issues? The scheduling part, the issues. The first one is transition rush. Why? KFC moved to DHL too quickly, from Big Fast to DHL too quickly without proper testing. And switching all outlets at once without testing too. The result, a national collapse, because when you rush without planning, disaster is inventable. And the second one is single depot. Depending only on the rugby town in England, it's like only one depot, one problem affect the whole UK. Why? When the traffic, can you imagine when the traffic accident happened near that depot? The entire supply chain broke down. Hundreds of restaurants went dark overnight. So, we move to the third one is no buffer time. No buffer time in logistic delay are not exceptions. They are expected. Yet, KFC designed a schedule so tight that one small disruption become a full crisis, a big crisis for them. And the fourth one is tight delivery timeline. It's like what I explained. Is they plan their schedule is so tight, and if like crisis happen, it will be the big problem for them. And the last one for what will happen to KFC in 2018, poor coordinations. Communication between logistic and outlet was weak, so problem were so fast. So deliveries, DHL and KFC management and the franchises owner were speaking different slang. In UK, we have a lot of slang we use and different language also. When problems struck, solutions were slow and communication was so messy at the time and trust was destroyed the impact. Franchises lost the income, customer lost confidence, and KFC lost its reputation, of course. And what I tell you is like I already combined with the impact on scheduling failures. The customer frustration damaged the reputation of KFC and the customers' confidence. So the next part is how scheduling. So what should have been done? How scheduling could be improved. The first one is phase transition. You don't have to gamble with your entire network at once. What like KFC do? They only roll out at once and what should KFC have to do is they have to move region by region or step by step, ensuring stability before expansion or crisis happen. The second one is buffer scheduling. A strong plan anticipates failure. It does not collapse the moment traffic slows down. Add extra time to prepare for unexpected delay. So that means you have to prepare or plan your schedule rightly to avoid the crisis or problem happened. And the third one is stress testing. Test the system under pressure before launch. That means you have to test in the simulation, because if you cannot handle a crisis in a simulation, you of course will not survive in a reality. And fourth one is back up the pods. Multiply the pods depending on one depot is like putting all. KFC only have one depot, right, in Rugby's, UK. So what KFC can do is like they can do multiply depots maybe. Okay, so the first one in Rugby and the second one in Manchester, the third one in Lancaster, all around the UK. So avoid relying on one resources only. Okay, you can imagine the number 4, like you put one egg into one basket and the basket is dropping out. Of course, all the egg is pecah. Okay, the last one is better coordination. Match delivery schedule with restaurant demand. Coordination, logistic and management, and outlet must be in sync. Clear channel, clear timelines, and clear responsibility. And for me, for the scheduling process, a personal reflection and what can I learn from this is I learned that good scheduling must be realistic and flexible and prepare for the risk. And you cannot expect the crisis happen when and of course you have to proper schedule before you do something. And rushing may look efficient but often create bigger problems. Stability is more important than speed because it keeps operation reliable. This case also taught me that patience and preparation can prevent stress. Managers should not only think about profit, but also workers, franchises, and customers. If I were charged in KFC or I were charged as managers in KFC, I will use the phase rollout with a backup plan. My principle is do it right, not just fast. We have to do it clearly, not just fast. Okay, so I will pass this mic to my friends. Oh yeah. Forgot this one. This is me when KFC crisis happened in Malaysia. Of course, I will burn out.
Okay, so here comes the last part, which is project controlling. How KFC failed to monitor and adjust during the 2018 chicken shortage. So basically, project controlling is about checking progress, spotting early problems, and making adjustments to keep project on track. In the case of KFC chicken shortage in the UK in 2018, the controlling process failed in several ways. First, there was a monitoring failure. When delivery were missed, the issue was blamed on traffic accidents. In reality, DHL new supply system was struggling. Because there was no strong monitoring, the deeper problem was only noticed when hundreds of restaurants had already run out of chicken. Second, there was no backup plan. All delivery came from one DHL warehouse in Rugby. This created a single point of failure. When trucks were delayed, there were no backup supplier to adjust the flow of chicken. This made the situation much worse and led to restaurant closure and food waste. Can you go to the next part? Okay, so the third one is the corrective action was too slow. Instead of acting quickly, KFC reacted after more than 600 stores were already closed. At the same time, chicken spoiled in trucks, showing that there was poor quality control and no fast response system in place. Another issue was franchisee overload. Many stores owners were left without updates or clear support. They lost money and customer trust because KFC did not adjust communication or provide temporary solution to keep some level of service running. So my personal reflection from this case is, I think that KFC should have had real-time monitoring instead of rushing to the action, backup distribution plans, and a faster crisis response. To me, good project control is not just about avoiding financial losses. It is also about protecting trust, reducing waste, and supporting everyone involved. Emotionally, I learned that poor controlling can harm workers, customers, and even farmers. Ethically, I believe project manager must value transparency, accountability, and quick corrective action to keep project stable. Now I'll pass the conclusion to Khalif.
Okay, so what can we conclude into this incident? So, we can conclude that the effective project management requires more than cost efficiency. It demands thorough planning, realistic scheduling, and proactive controlling to ensure resilience. Businesses must value risk management, stakeholder input, and contingency strategy as much as profitability. So, for that, they need to focus more on this factor than just to cut the cost of their logistically. This case remind us that a good project management is not just a technical process. It reflects responsibility, ethics, and trust toward customers, employees, and partners. So that's all from us. Thank you. So this is our reference.
Any issues?
Any questions?
Any question? No. This actually happened by the year of 2016. So at that time, one of the most important thing that you need to highlight is about European Union. Have you ever heard about European Union?
Yes.
Okay, by the year of 2016, actually, Britain planned to exit from its European Union because one of the most important thing is about its migration issues. Okay, so in form of European Union, we have already understand that will be a Eurozone area in form of European Union, whereby at that time in the form of its trade activity, okay, mostly if you are seeing from a currency affected, UK in the form of European Union, so it will be of course one of the most contribution, most of the largest, most of the richest country in European Union, of course, will be UK. So, but at that time, the citizen itself cannot handle anymore and tolerate with lots of migration that occurred in Britain at the time. So, by the year of 2018, actually, that will be a lot of crisis because mostly vendor hearing about this kind of impacted because they will be think that these issues will give an impacted, of course, mostly toward its disruption for its logistic provider. Because of the time, we can see that before this, in the form of its logistic provider, it used another company, right? And before it moved to DHL. Okay, so because of the lack of experience at that time, it led to with this kind of vendoring management system in order to track in the form of aids, what we call as sempadan lah, because of the sempadan itself. Okay, so before this, we have already understand. If we are joining from this kind of trade activity, of course, that will be a strata in the form of freedom, movement of people, labor, capital, goods and services. But because of this kind of borderline activities, so there will be no integration at all anymore. Sebab tu kalau you boleh tengok macam Asia trade kan, for Malaysia kan. So actually we can see that mostly from our side revenue, it will be impacted towards our country juga. Sebab tu kita terpaksa charge SST, value added tax. Have you ever heard about this thing?
Yeah.
Because mostly bila country masuk produk, okay, dalam negara kita, actually kita dapat money. Tapi because of this kind of bilateral and multilateral trade, okay, so there will be no, so it would be give more accessible activities for the country in order to be in Malaysia, okay, even if because of this kind of bilateral trade and also multilateral. Bilateral, which means that ini hubungan satu hala lah within one country. Kalau multilateral, ni yang macam ni contohnya like World Trade Organization, apa tu, Asia, pernah dengar? Asia, European Union, Mercosur. So this one we call as the multilateral trade. So that will be one of the decision by the country in order to join for the trade, course tujuannya untuk memberi impacted lah kepada kita punya GDP kan. Tapi rupa-rupanya it doesn't benefits for the UK at all. Sebab UK tu adalah country yang kita tengok mostly of the major impacted by UK dia datang daripada hasil tourism industry dan juga dia punya apa tu, pernah dengar UK kan dia punya apa tu Ratu Elizabeth yang sekarang monarch because of its monarch kan, monarchy area tu yang kalau awak boleh tengok yang kahwin dari tu siapa, Kate Middleton dengan husband dia tu nama apa? Putera apa? Putera William. Putera William lah kan? Kate Middleton dengan siapa? Kate Middleton. Putera Harry dengan yang apa tu? Siapa tu? Meghan kan. So William dengan Kate Middleton kan. So waktu Kate Middleton dengan William tu kahwin, so mostly semua mata tertuju kepada ni lah perkahwinan diraja kan. So UK memang country yang kaya sampai kan dia suka memberi, sampai gelandangan pun dapat duit. So kita ni actually Malaysia ni kita belajar daripada UK tu yang kita suka bagi kan. Dia biasa dengan US dia tak bagi, even ubat-ubatan pun dia tak bagi, you kena pay. Yes, you have to pay kan. Sampai saya tengok ada satu dokumentari tu, orang tu sampai terpaksa jual dia punya property untuk tanggung ubat-ubatan dia sebab sakit jantung kan. So that will be one of the crises. Okay, so very good presentation.
Okay.
Okay, next group.
Thank you so much.